How you doing, guys? You alright?
Hi,
Oh,
Jack.
wow.
Hi, Ben. How you doing? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm decent, man. Welcome back to another episode of Babblin, guys. I'm losing track. What are we on now? I mean, it's only like 3, isn't it?
Episode 3, mate.
It's
Yeah.
only 3. How are you losing
Yeah, I
track
don't
already?
know. I don't know.
Where is your
I don't know.
time gone?
All the
Anyways,
weeks blending in.
He's babbling
Quickly
too
moving on.
much.
I've got
We've
nothing else going on.
literally
guys.
just done
I've got
this
a very
3
sad
times.
life. Come on, leave me alone. Anyways, today, guys, instantly, I was really excited to talk about this. I want to get into this a little bit, actually. But the PS5 has just dropped. I'll be honest, I haven't really been, over the past few years, you know, you had the, even when the PS4 came out, I think I wasn't as up for it as I thought I'd be. Like the Switch as well, I didn't really care. The Xbox S or whatever, or the Scorpio, whatever they're thinking of. I've never been that bothered. But seeing the PS5, though, and some of the exclusives that got with it, because I actually had a dabble, I had a bit of a look. I think it looks great, man. I think it looks really
Hate
cool.
it. Hate the look.
don't
Oh,
like
man.
it.
I find the memes hilarious. I won't lie.
But you don't
I
like
think
the
the thing
Wi-Fi
is,
route, look.
2 pieces of paper in front, like side by side.
It's very modern looking. Like you could imagine seeing that as like a
Modern?
bloody. Yeah, it's quite modern looking, isn't
It's not
it?
supposed to be
No, it
vintage,
looks
is it?
well,
I was gonna
looks
say,
well ahead of its time.
It looks futuristic. mate.
Futuristic. That's what I meant, not modern. Like no, I mean,
They're
looks
two
like
very
it-
different things.
it looks Japanese as well, don't you think? Like you'd imagine seeing a
It looks
building like.
Japanese.
Nah.
Japanese.
What are you on about?
I
It
don't
just
know.
looks like
Tokyo. Tokyo, what's that?
it's
Go
like
on,
if you watch Blade Runner or something like that, it's like something they came up with on Blade Runner.
Why is that a negative? Why is that such a negative?
That's not negative. I think it's cool. I actually think it's quite a cool design.
Good.
I just
Well,
think
all
You're
I'm
not
saying
looks.
impressed, are you?
I just think it looks more ahead of its time than it needs to be. Like every time I look at it, I just think it just looks like a BT internet router stuck in between a fucking 3-ring binder.
paper.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I get that.
It's
I get
just
that.
weird.
Well, the exclusives are looking good though. What do you think about that? They've got that Miles Morales thing coming out. The one where you can
Spider-Man,
play as
yeah.
a stray cat and things. They do look good.
I didn't
I
see.
can't remember all of them.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
we
scrolling
were
through it now.
we were looking through it before, but I didn't know they'd make a Miles Morales game. But I think it's quite exciting.
I think it
Yeah,
makes
that
what they
sense.
do with that, yeah.
If you play the first game, I'll try not give any spoilers in this episode, but
Yeah.
play the first one. It makes sense, but there was a lot of confusion when it was announced because people thought it was going to be Spider-Man 2. But if you look at Insomniac Games, their games list, they had Spider-Man, then they had, I think it was like unlisted, so no one knew what the game was. Then it was Spider-Man 2. So we'll get the game in between.
I
And I
assume
think-
this is going to be a small sort of spin-off type thing.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be like an expansion of sorts.
Probably could have been a DLC.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Who do you think the villain is? Like some sort of electric guy. I was like, is that Electro? He's already been in the first game though.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I didn't think about that, to be honest.
It's
in
like a
terms of
purple one. But yeah,
think-
maybe it's
I
Prowler.
thought that was
know.
him getting his power or something. Or maybe he's not
Yeah.
fighting a villain there. Maybe it's some sort of
Yeah.
portal or something. I don't
Not
know.
too sure. I thought it looked cool though. Like his suit looks cool. I like how it goes invisible as well. That's power.
I think
that's the
Insomniac-
power he's got. Yeah.
I've got a lot of faith in their they'll do this justice because I felt the previous
Mm.
Spider-Man game was top notch. To be honest, you know,
Yeah.
story was
I've-
good, villains was good.
I've heard a rumor as
gameplay
well
was
that
good.
there is a new Batman game coming as well. I've heard a rumor.
Yeah.
Don't know if
That's been
set in
circling for the
stone.
last like 2 years, I think.
Yeah, I really hope so because Arkham Knight was just fine.
I love those games, man. Then
I
again,
love the
didn't they-
first
didn't-
3.
Didn't they cut them off? Like they're not doing any more Arkham ones, are they? Is
No,
it
Arkham
eventually-
Knight was the.
I think it is the last one. Yeah, so I'm not too
I'm
sure.
just looking at the game list of what they announced the other day at their conference. There's a game
Yeah.
called, I think it's Kena, Bridge of Spirits. That looks really,
I think. Yeah.
really pretty game.
What's one
I
with the
don't-
cat? The stray
That's
cat.
called
you go around.
Pragmata. I think it's called Pragmata, and that looked really
that one looks
interesting.
good. Yeah, I do
Um,
want to play that one.
To be honest, a
think
lot of
I
it is
like-
just a tease, really, isn't it? It hasn't gave much away.
Yeah,
I think what I like most about the games that they did show,
Ethan loves the tease.
almost a good.
hell yeah, he does.
I'd say a good. I'd say a good third of the games that they showed are indie games, and indie games are
Yes.
very underrated. Like,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people that look to games for their graphics, whereas, like, of course, you know, a good story makes a good game as well. And
We love gang based, don't we?
yeah, we like Game Beast.
Gang
You make your own-
Beast.
Yeah, Gang Beasts. Just
It
make
is a
your own
good
story
game.
of just friends fighting each other. Why not?
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
I'm a bit
Another
out of loop when it comes to gaming. I won't lie, I
Yeah.
don't really do a lot of it.
Well, there's
as
another
you
big
guys know.
blockbuster game coming out, A title, whatever you call it.
FIFA 21.
Horizon.
Whatever you call
yes.
it.
Hey, I mean, what's the point of just keep recreating FIFA? Just add a few extra blokes in, don't they? But anyway, it's Horizon
It is.
Forbidden West.
It's rubbish.
It's Horizon Forbidden West.
Add a few extra blokes.
Does
does look
FIFA
really
even
good.
like look real anymore? That's like what they do every year, isn't it? They just make the graphics better.
It's basically just watching it on Sky Sports. Like, it's that like realistic now.
My brother loves it.
No, I think it's still trash. that
I was
game.
on my
Oh,
I was on my
I don't know,
PS4
mate.
and I noticed PES Pro Evolution Soccer 2020 was on sale for £5. So I was like, okay, I used to play PES before I played FIFA. And the problem with PES is that it always goes for realism. It feels much more realistic than FIFA, but it has shit gameplay sometimes. Like the tackles just don't work and passing the ball is just like, okay, I know not every single pass has to be perfect, but Jesus, like my expectations were low, but Jesus fucking Christ. Like
really?
it's just like,
Yeah, I never got the mechanics of that game, to be honest. I wish it was more on point with FIFA, because FIFA's just like they've got no ambition at all. They don't want to
boring.
really improve their game. It's just boring. If they had competition though, they'd be more inclined to do more.
Can't
so
you
they can
make
win over their fans.
Nathan? Can't you make your own character on PES? I swear I've seen like a video
can,
of
but
Ario.
you can, but the customization on PES is much better than FIFA, because FIFA is
Really?
like you can kind of customize already made players and you can make your own players, but PES you can completely like transform the team kit. You can like implement your own designs. If you go online, download, I think it's PNG files. You can, because of course PES doesn't have all the most of the licenses like FIFA does. So as you'll know, for example, in reverse, actually, FIFA 20 EA lost the license for Juventus team. So that's called like Piemonte Calcio, I think. Something like that.
Some bullshit like that, yeah.
Some weird name, yeah. But obviously on
Right.
PES, because they have the rights, it's Juventus. But other teams, Manchester City's like Manchester B. I think Tottenham on the last game used to be like North London White or something like that.
It makes me feel so uncultured though, because like there's so many good games. You've got the game mechanics, engines, and things like that, and the stories, and it's deeply layered.
Yeah.
And you guys are talking about
Speaking
all
about
those.
stories,
And then I'm just there like, oh, FIFA. Ooh.
Yeah,
You know what I
speaking
mean?
about stories, guys, what do you think? I saw some reviews on Last of Us Part 2 the other day, and
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Yeah.
even though there were some spoilers, which I haven't really looked into because I may potentially
Was
play the
there?
game.
Yeah,
Well,
spoilers
don't
were-
say anything.
I'm not gonna say anything. The
I ain't
spoilers were
gonna say
going
anything.
wildfire for
Yeah.
about, I think it was a month ago. Like,
Anyway, it's got a really good reception,
Really?
like tens and like
Yeah.
all the way through, really, from all the reviewers, and it does look very cinematic. I don't know if you've ever played the Naughty Dog's other games, like Uncharted.
When did the first one come out?
Ages ago.
I think.
2013, yeah. 2013.
I never
2013.
played
7
it,
years, man.
but it
See,
looked.
the thing is, it is a great game. But back then, 2013, I would have been in school, and that would have been like peak time for me in terms of gaming and stuff, and really getting on that. But ever since uni, I've really sort of dropped off the games. Like uni just completely changed my life entirely. You know, it's a massive decision, isn't it? Like whether you're going to go to university or not, because it could be such a game changer in terms of what else you can do. Because it's either that and you continue your education a bit, or you just go out into the big wide world. And I feel like people more often in today's society go for university because they're too scared of this big wide world. Because it's
it's a way of delaying it, isn't it?
terrifying.
Really, like
Yeah.
you put yourself in big debt,
definitely.
but it's a way to,
just have that normality, because
Keep it off.
education's all you know.
like
at
that
point.
school schedule, yeah. Even if it is like you only turn up say twice a week.
And it's that idea of
You
progression
say
as well.
schedule. There weren't no schedule when we went there, lads.
Well,
that's what I was gonna
There
ask,
was to a
like-
degree.
Like university for you guys, did it live up to your expectations? Because obviously before you've gone there, you're thinking about how certain things are going to go. You've got with media and stuff and the way that it's represented and things like that. You've got your own.
What do you
expectations on
think?
what you
Let's
can get.
start with you, Ethan. What do you think?
Well, when I started university, what my thoughts were.
Yeah,
What's your
what you think you
expectations
can
and
get.
what's it like now that we're done?
Yeah.
Well, how I feel about it now.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. So, all
You're right.
right. Sorry.
I thought he would have even got into university. Jesus Christ. How'd they accept you?
What do you mean? There you go, university.
Chill out. I'll don't hold back, like. So basically, I think I preferred college, to be fair. I felt like I was a lot more invested and passionate about what I was doing, whereas this felt, I mean, it didn't feel like what university should be, what I thought, what I anticipated.
What did you think it was going to be then? Like, how did
I thought it was going to be like, you know, proper like industry levels up there, like proper like solid work. I just felt it was very relaxed, and I felt like
so just let you get on with it.
I really like learning. I feel like there was a lot of like lessons and stuff to a degree at college, whereas this was loved the PowerPoint on, and I didn't feel like I engaged that much with what they were trying to teach us, and a lot of it was independent learning. So obviously, I'm a massive fan of my films. You know, I love that. And I do quite enjoy, you know, aspects of filmmaking, you know, like cinematography and editing. But I just felt I wasn't engaged with what I was making. I don't know whether or not it was because what we were making on certain modules just didn't have the passion there, or what. I'm not too sure. But in that aspect, like the actual course, it didn't live up to what I expected, to be honest. But I did enjoy some of the nightlife and stuff, and just meeting new people and the experiences and that. That was definitely something I want to take back.
I feel like the media kind of misconstrued it as well, because you see how it is based in like American films and that. You got all these sororities and fucking alpha male and all that.
What's it called?
So much shit that goes on, and it's just like, what the fuck is this?
But that's American.
Or Bad Neighbours. That's what I mean, but it's so like in our faces,
party-centric,
everything I'm exposed to. It's like, hang on a minute, why is this not the same? And I feel like that could get misconstrued with us and what we think and what we expect. I wish, one regret though is just not getting a house. Like, I wish I lived there, because I travelled, me and Ethan. And
I did,
traveled.
I did in my last year,
Yeah, I just wish that I had that experience. You see all these people, and I don't know, it's the independence as well.
Well, for me, uni was just like, I knew I originally wasn't going to go uni when I was in sixth form. I was just like, nah, because it just seems like a lot of hassle. But then I realized I didn't actually know what I wanted to do. So I took a year out just working. And then I decided I was going to go uni afterwards. And I decided I want to go to a uni where it's not too far, where I don't get too homesick. So it's not too much of a hassle to get home. But then it's not too close where, you know, it wouldn't make sense for me to move into like a house or something. So that's why I picked Coventry, because it was just far enough for me to live there, but also wasn't too far to get there. And having that house experience and flat experience was actually really good, to be fair. Like,
I wish I did that. Seriously,
met all the new
like
people,
halls and stuff.
Yeah, it was really funny. Like,
there's one thing I hated. So let's say we started at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. I'd have to get up at like 6, and then the actual bus journey was about an hour and a half. It was ridiculous, man.
Honestly, mate, I had to get the train in all the time, and like it was a 6 a.m. start, just about to get there for 9 a.m.
Yeah,
and like that's like morning routine, train every day. Eventually, it started to get a lot more like, oh my god, this is really packing it in now. But
the only reason I didn't take the train in the first year because of how early we're starting. The trains just I wouldn't have got there at the time needed, and the bus was a little bit more convenient. But it took for bloody ages to get there. Sitting on there for like an hour and 40 minutes, mate. I could watch a bloody film. I could watch a film in the morning. Like, oh, what a brilliant film! Like, oh, I'm here yet. No,
oh, Ethan, how was your journey to uni? I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean 1 for the first time.
I do think people should definitely really consider, because uni now, it's kind of become sort of the norm. Like, it's not really a choice, it's more of a requirement that you've got to do university if you really want to do or be successful, and that's just not the case at all. You know, I always see people who have done apprenticeships, and they always seem to be doing fucking well. Like, I've never found anyone who's done an apprenticeship who's just down and doing shit. Like, everyone seems to be pretty fucking sorted. So I do think apprenticeships are probably
because they get a qualification and they get a bit of cash. It might not be the best, like the most amount of money, but you still earn it.
Well, they send them to uni anyway if they need to. If they need to go, they send them to uni, and they pay for it as well.
Yeah, my cousin, for instance, he was doing like a coding. He's got a coding job or something for this company, and they sent and paid for him to go to uni. And he's there like he goes in like, I don't know, once a fortnight or something. But still, he'll still get a degree out of this. Brilliant.
I'm still glad I went, to fair. Like, I went like as you said, Ethan. I think I enjoyed college a lot more. But like the fact with uni is, you know, if I didn't go, I wouldn't have met you guys. I definitely wouldn't have been as good as I am with like Adobe products and stuff like that now. Like I feel like I have sort of narrowed down what I want to do in the industry, and that was all because of uni. And the night was also great.
I was gonna say before we move on to that, I was gonna say about, obviously if your passion is there, you could learn a lot from YouTube. Do you feel that going to uni is necessary to learn what we have? I feel like you could learn a lot of this off YouTube, and if you have your passion and your own like savings, to
It
get
literally does feel like we're doing it for the paper. To be honest.
And forth.
Well,
Yeah.
it's more about getting that face-to-face interaction than it is just being able to learn it online, because you are right. I think you are right in the sense that a lot of the stuff that we did, for example, like when we were doing practical work and such, like you could go on YouTube, you could find a tutorial and learn it within a couple of weeks. But I think it's all about you're paying for that face-to-face interaction, because then you can ask questions and then get the answer straight away. If you're looking at YouTube and then go, oh, do you know what? I don't understand this bit about setting up this microphone on this camera. Then you'd have to just do more online search into how to do that specific issue. Whereas if you're face to face with someone, then you can always just go to them and then talk to them and then get the response there and there, which I think is really good. But
it doesn't just build your, your skills in terms of like technology and stuff. It also builds your confidence and your social skills for sure.
Absolutely.
I think my confidence from when I first started college, I was just frightened to just travel there on the train. I don't know why. Just time. You sort of grown as a person over years.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah,
and now I don't really care. I'll go wherever. I went like New York the other year. It didn't faze me at all. It's weird how you.
I do think it's strange how you've changed, Eve, with that. You were quite anxious at one stage, and it was clearly quite to some extraordinary level. Like if you were worried about going to college, and it's good now because obviously you're completely opposite.
Yeah,
you're able to do those things. One thing I was going to ask you, if you could go back and change anything before uni, but I'm going to change that. I'm actually going to say, how do you think you've changed throughout university? Because fuck me, I know I've changed. If you go back, and I know this is going to be in the edit now, but if you go back and look at some of the photos from me in first year, fucking hell, I look homeless. I don't even know how they let me into the fucking building. I didn't even know what a haircut was.
Had grey hair at one point in year one, didn't you?
He had black hair. He died.
Black hair. My bad. I thought you had grey hair.
Didn't he?
I didn't actually have black hair though. It was just for this like wank-ass film, and I had to spray my hair black for some reason. When I say
just
wank,
sit there listening to
like
3 days.
Just highlight, like, see, hey, whoever edited, wank. Wank film.
Jeez.
Terrible. Anyway, less of that. But
please.
Go
on, guys. I want us to go around. I'm going to start off with Nathan. So, how do you think you've changed, like from the very first moment you stepped into university to the last?
Fucking hell, it's been astronomical how much I've changed. I mean, I think the thing that used to scare me most was just going into a room just full of people I didn't know. But I think I think the thing that helped me with that though was because for those of you that know, I suffer with Asperger's, which is a form of autism, which is like when you're talking to people, sometimes your concentration just isn't there, or like you do struggle to talk to new people. And and it's like I remember just thinking to myself, this is going to be a fucking nightmare when I walk into that room. But I think the thing that helped with that was we had people in those uni chats just asking, oh, is anyone doing this course? Is anyone going to be staying in this flat? And then obviously I got added to those group chats where they were, and I was able to talk to everyone, and it really, really helped. And I think being surrounded by new people for the last 2.5, 3 years is really like, I feel a lot more charismatic. I feel a lot more open about things. And I just feel like I'm much more of an outspoken person now. Like it's really brought out confidence. So
I was going to say that's a good thing, isn't it, about uni then? Like it's not just on the academic level at all. It's your personal development, and it can really bring you out. Like I like with that's an extraordinary change. Obviously, Ethan, you've had quite a similar one, I'd say. But yeah, no, I think it's great. What about you then, Mike? What would you say? How have you changed?
I think
okay.
No, I'd say confidence in filmmaking for sure. I was very much like in year one.
No way, really?
What?
What?
Yeah.
On a film course.
Yeah.
You've got
Oh,
Wow,
yeah,
that's-
fuck off. I mean, come on. Because, like, I was very much happy with being, like, on the back seat. Like, I'm just going to let people take over and do their thing. But by year
Oh,
3,
yeah.
you know, like, I
Mhm.
full on took on the music video myself and did everything. And then obviously Matt helped out when he joined in a bit later on. But it was like a big step up, I guess. So I
Mhm.
felt like I found my place in that scene. And yeah, I'd say I hadn't changed that much throughout the entirety of uni. But yeah, that was like a big one for me.
I've got one thing to say, if that's all right. So,
Yes.
Nah.
No.
Nah, mate, back off.
No.
so what I was going to say,
Where's your deposit?
it's kind of similar to what you guys were saying about feeling engaged with what you're working on and stuff. And I feel like first and second year, I was a bit timid, like having my voice out there saying, no, I want to do this. I want to try this role. And I'd usually let somebody that was probably more skilled or had a bit more authority about them to take that role. I ended up with something I wouldn't really care about. And then whereas this final year, me and Ben came up with this idea, which we wish we went forth and made. But I feel like my roles that I did end up doing on this FMP with a few students from our course really grew my confidence. Might not have been the most skilled in them or what, but I felt like, you know, I've got charge here. It's my responsibility, and I quite like that. It feels like you're actually adding something to this product.
It's you being able to go out there and do all these new things, even if you're not excellent at them. You know, you still get that experience, which is nice.
Yeah.
Whereas last year, like year 2, was quite different. I ended up doing something which I felt like was pointless and added nothing to the final production.
Yeah.
So, what would you guys say was your favorite year of uni of the 3?
Oh man, that's a good one.
For me, it was year 1. Mostly for
that
Porto.
that Porto trip.
Porto was one of the best trips I've ever been on.
And year 1, there was no stress at all. Like, you could just do what you wanted.
I think it's
like
because
the projects.
I think it's got to be because year 1 didn't actually count towards our final.
Yeah, anyone doing
grade,
uni,
so.
don't give a fuck in year 1. Just get 40% and
just go and get drunk.
No, give it a try.
Nah, don't even try. It doesn't even
try
count towards
it,
your final grade.
Meet
just
people.
Go out and get smashed.
Worry about making something good. Don't worry about all the paperwork bollocks. Just make a decent film or
have fun with it.
Do put effort into it.
Do put effort, but like
don't say that.
If you
so
want,
if they're doing an
take it
engineering
easy a
course,
bit more.
just make a
it's
film.
not necessary,
Make a film in
our
the
recommendation.
Make a film about getting pissed.
Hi, I'm a midwife and I've just made a documentary.
I think someone did that, didn't they?
A nightclub like.
But yeah, so would you guys say year 1?
It's got to be for that Porto trip.
Maybe. Or I think I did actually like this third year, to be fair, because I really did see how much I had changed over these last few years, and it was nice to be able to fully feel like I'm, you know, fleshing out into the kind of person that I want to be. So yeah, it's really tight between this year and year 1.
I think we've all had our moments, but as we know, like, it's come to an end now, and
on to the next chapter.
There's elements.
Chapter.
So, you know, I mean, if anyone's watching this, obviously really key points that we're raising here for what you should take away from this. Basically, that uni's a waste of time. You're going to be a loser no matter what you do. And in first year, just go out and get pissed, and that's where you should put your effort into.
Life will
pretty much
suck.
it.
Thank God, fucking damn it.
Nice
We're meant to be
guys.
leading. We're meant to be
Thank you.
Rums in spoons is the way forward.
Oh, we spent more time in that.
We can't wait to get to spoons, fellas.
Yeah,
That's
if you're having group meetings, only spoons. Do not go to a lecture room or anything.
Don't
like
go to
that.
a library, you freak.
Yeah.
Go to a library.
Spoons.
Go to a library with double rums.
Life.
Anyways, guys,
we're
going to wrap it up now. That was the next episode of Babblin. Thank you very much
so
for watching,
guys.
Take care of yourself.